Welcome everyone, hello everyone, welcome to Respectful Dave. Today's live stream I'll be playing some 3+0 chess and analyzing my games after I finish them, regardless of the result. The thumbnail of this live stream is coming from an Alapin Sicilian. I've been practicing this for a while. I just wanted to understand it because it seems like white wasn't getting the time to get c3 d4 in, specifically in lines such as, I don't know, e6, where if you go c3 d5 takes, it just seems like it's not happening. But okay, like d4 happens. There was another line, I think, for example, knight c6 c3 d5, where you take, and after d4 it really looks like white is struggling, because how many pieces does black have attacking d4? 1, 2, 3. And this one is not attacking d4, but indirectly undermining it. So one of the very key defensive pieces of d4 is the knight. The bishop is pinning that knight. So when you take a look at it, technically every single piece that black has developed is essentially going against d4. However, white is absolutely fine after this move bishop e2, because black is not in time to ever take on f3. The queen is always going to get hit. And after some like c takes d4, once again, black is not in time to take on d4. And not only that, by playing c takes d4, now you're enabling whites to play knight c3. And yeah, that allows whites to, like, black can continue keeping the tension for a little longer, but at some point bishop e3, this becomes a threat, so black eventually has to take on d4, and yeah. But okay, let's just make sure everything is working right. Maybe I can put this here for the time being, and I'll sort things out. I'm gonna pause this. I'm gonna test this. Kevin, the famous Kevin. Okay. Now I'm just gonna come here. There we go. Okay. I think we're fine. I'm assuming that the chat is working. Let's go right into it. 3+0. I'm gonna click on this, and we get a game pretty quickly, actually. So good luck, Shudu. Or chudu, as we would pronounce in Spanish. Let's open up with pawn to e4. Okay, we're not gonna get the Sicilian. We almost got it. We were 50% there. One more step would have got us all the way there. I thought my opponent was going to play the Caro-Kann, but of course they're going to play something a little bit more modern. g6. So normally against these openings, white wants to continue occupying the center. If I'm not mistaken, f4 is probably the top engine move. I'm not gonna go h4. I'm gonna go h4, going against the pawn on g6. Black goes h5, and now I'm gonna claim that the inclusion of h4, h5 is gonna benefit me. I also have to play quicker, so let's get into the rhythm. Let's play normal chess. Let's play knight c3. Let's keep the center. Let's keep the tension in the center. So I don't want to trade knights. I think I have more space. But I do want to damage my opponent's pawn structure. I'm going to go knight takes f6 followed by bishop c4. So bishop d6. My opponent clearly wants to castle short. So let's castle both. I'm going to play queen d3. I know, queen d3 runs into bishop f5. Not that, then. Okay, what about a4, actually? I wanted to play queen d3, queen b3, but with my queen on b3, there's always going to be b5. And I also like the idea of playing, like, after bishop g4, my opponent, like, it's almost as if after queen d3 you wanted to play bishop f5, then bishop g4 cancels out. It's almost as if bishop f4 was never played. I think my opponent blundered this. Now it's game over. Let's see what's the cleanest way of finishing this off. Let's remind ourselves this is a blitz game. We have queen h6. Let's play this. We can tease our opponent and play queen g6. Repeat once. We also have knight g5. And we also have bishop d3. Bishop d3 looks pretty strong, actually. But then there's f5, but then knight g5, but then knight f6. Don't completely see it. Bishop d3, f5, bishop g5. Okay, let's go for the simple. Simple choice. Which is getting the exchange. Assuming my opponent is going to go queen g8. And let's try to convert this. Okay. Let's see. Bishop d2. I want both my rooks in the open files. So this one here and the other one on e-file. On the e-file, sorry. Let's come here, try to get a little bit of play here. It's all about the clock, believe it or not. I'm not playing this incredibly well. Okay. I need to open things up here. Let's go d5. Let's take here. Let's play bishop e3. Gave up a little bit of material for the sake of activating my rook. Kind of backfiring a little bit already. Let's take and play rook a1. Bishop e5, there's bishop d4. I'm not sure if it's necessary. Okay. There's bishop takes f6. Oh, that one's annoying. I'm gonna lose this game. It's unfortunate. Check, check. This is a very unfortunate first game. Kind of we asked for it. Let's see how close we can get here. Yep. Ah! Good game, Shudo. Bad game, me. That was a bad game. So let's take a look at this. So we had a... How do we lose this? So it turns out we were right. But I didn't find the kill here. Just back. Wow. This is pretty powerful, actually. Disappointed I couldn't find this. But yeah, very cool maneuver. I mean, you go back, you provoke f5, you get knight g5, and then you come back. Because queen g6 is still in the air. And according to the engine, queen e7 has to be played, but then this is a much better version. Okay, let's shake it off. That was terrible by me. That was pretty bad by me. But we got a good position. I've been thinking about analyzing my games on a public chess study as well. But honestly, I'm not sure. I am not sure. Hello, Luca. Is that the Luca, I think? I'm doing well, thank you. 2700? Okay. How are you doing, Luca? Oh no, I was already there. 2700s are stronger than... Usually stronger than us, so let's keep our mind cool. So let's go bishop d3. Develop the bishop. Go c3. We're playing against this bishop because it cannot go anywhere. Any of those two squares. g6. I'm gonna play knight f3. There's also bishop f4. Because knight f3, as soon as I play knight f3, there's bishop g4. So I'm gonna play bishop f4 actually first. Okay, I play bishop f5 regardless, so kind of it didn't matter a lot. Yes, it is. I knew it. I sensed it. I I sensed it. They're playing a Caro-Kann against us, so we have to be... Okay, let's occupy. Actually, let's take here. Let's take here. Yeah. Okay, then we're gonna take with the g-pawn either way. Okay, let's bother with queen b3. Actually, let's go rook e1. Okay, let's go 95. Yep. Let's come here. Still a little bit annoying. But okay. Okay, let's go knight d3. Or f3. Actually, f3 makes sense. But now this knight is all of a sudden having an existential crisis. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Let's go b4. So now it's a pawn storm. a4. I'm really getting... really feeling the pressure here. I have to go g3, I think. So this can't be good. Knight f4, I go rook e1. Or rook e3. Okay. Have to go king f2. I don't know. King f2, queen b6, rook e3, rook g2. I'm losing. But yeah, even if I don't go for that, I'm losing. I think I have this. What am I blundering? Oh, I'm blundering that. Yep. Should we sacrifice this guy? Okay, let's come here. Queen d3, queen e2. Yeah, that was a pretty poor game. Maybe I should change the repertoire. Usually I play the exchange Caro. Not very challenging. And on top of that, I played it... not f1. But then queen g5 is very strong. Okay, queen e2 is only move then. But then rook... Ah, no, rook g5 I have knight f1. Rook g3 I have knight f1 as well. And hold. Okay. So another point is that queen g5 I have knight h2. Or knight e3. I know knight e3 loses. Oh, maybe we're defending this. It's looking good now. As good as it can look. Okay. That surprises me. Let's try to activate our pieces. Our knight on h2 is protecting the king as good as it can. Yeah, that's a little bit annoying. Let's go queen d2. Rook c2 or rook d4. Let's see how quick we are. We're no longer losing. I think this is a safe pre-move. Kind of ruining a little bit of that move. Okay, that's on pre. What I kind of expected. Ah! What am I doing here? Ah! Let's rematch. We should have analyzed the game, but you don't get the chance of playing against 2700s as much. So let's play the Philidor here, knight c3, e5. Okay. Actually, I don't get the chance of playing the Philidor that often, so this is good. So against the g4, early g4, what was the move? We just take it, I think. Or... because there's also rook g1 and then g4, but g4 right away I knew. g4 right away I know, but I have to refresh my mind. What was the move? E takes d4? There's also h6, of course. Ah. This is the type of move that really burns time. Let's take it. Let's ask the question. Yep. Okay, let's take here. Claiming that we have the e5 square now. Queen h4 is a candid move here. Oh no, it's not. There's knight e5 as well. Okay, let's come here. Queen h4 is now my threat. At least I would like to pretend that's the case. If h3. Sorry. Okay. I like this move. Actually, this I still have queen h4. Not sure why queen h2 was played, actually. And my threat is knight takes h2. And this is attacked sometimes. Okay. Knight takes f2 doesn't work, so knight h2. But then f4. Knight h4. No, but then I take h5 doesn't work. Knight takes f2. I'm not too scared of f4. But then f4, actually I have queen h4, queen f2, I have check. Knight d5, of course. This one I completely forgot about. Ay, ay, ay. Wait a second, check. Takes, takes. And then I have queen d4. And I'm winning. Because the rook on d1 is hanging. Okay, we're winning, we're winning. We should be at least. Or maybe I'm being optimistic. Okay, let's take... oh yeah, queen d3 is the best. By far. Okay, let's take. Let's take. Come here. I'm gonna claim that the knight is going to get stuck. Knight is getting stuck. Well, how do I do that? Okay, let's come here actually. Bishop e3, b6. Oh, what am I doing? I'm already misplaying this a little bit. Okay, let's come here. Let's come here. Ah. Okay, now we can come here. Okay. We can take as well. Come here. We've got this game. We have 20 seconds. It's enough, it's enough. Bishop here. Oh, yeah, he tricked me. Good game, Damita y Rey. Ah, yeah, we were very close there. Okay, let's try this one again. Bishop d3, they go knight f6. c3. Okay. Early bishop g4. Knight h5. Okay, let's stroke back. Nothing happened. Okay, let's come h3. We also have f3. Hello, Roger. Hello, Mind of Kind. Very strong player, Mind of Kind. Hello, Emmanuel. Good luck in your rocket project. h3 g4 was one way, but f3 g4 I think is better. So now I'm gonna go here. Yeah. Okay. So knight takes f3 is a threat. I think I should probably take. Bishop f5 doesn't make sense. Too much sense at least. Castle short side is very double-edged. Knight d4 also. Ah no, knight takes d3. Yeah, maybe I have to take, but I don't want to take. Okay, I'm gonna castle short side. I don't see much of a an alternative, unfortunately. It's far from ideal, but I managed to get my pieces. They're clearly gonna castle queen. Oh, I thought they were gonna castle queenside. Okay, so now I get bishop f5 potentially. I want my knight on f5 ultimately, as opposed to knight f5 to force the gain of the bishop pair I want. I don't care too much about the bishop pair in this case. I'm kind of playing against the IQP, and also the dark squares are of the utmost priority, so I'm seeking to exchange this knight for this dark square bishop. The knight c4 is an annoying move. Usually 2700 players, kind of getting to 2800, usually do. So be careful here already. Queen c2. Oh no, queen c2 is still, what am I doing? Rook e1, queen c1, queen c1. My dark squares are extremely weak. Queen e2 gets on the way of the rook on e8. Okay, we're losing this one. I'm not being negative, that's just the way it goes. Realistically speaking. This one's pretty tough to overcome. Actually, I'm saying that, and as I said that, all of a sudden I feel like my position is not that bad. It could have been worse. Rook e7 I'm expecting, knight f1, takes. Rook e8, I go rook e2. And hope for the best. Now they're gonna sacrifice on g4? I don't understand rook a c8. Sorry. Maybe there's something I'm missing. Oh, they wanted b5, b4. Oh yeah, but if they wanted b5, b4, then I'm really not scared of that. Okay, well, it seems like we're surviving somehow. Let's go queen. Queen g5, threatening knight f5. Go knight f5 right away. Or maybe not. I want to go rook d1. Not sure why he allowed me, or she allowed me to get this. I didn't deserve it. So now I'm gonna go rook d1, knight f5. Doing well, I think. Knight g6, queen g3. Now I'm gonna switch to positional chess. Gonna take with the pawn, of course. Yeah, that one is very scary. Okay. I have no time. There's a way calculation is the most important thing, at least in blitz games. We're hitting this. We're too slow. We're not getting it. It's unfortunate. Oh wait, rook takes d5 is in the air? It became a little bit of a video game at the end. We're close. For 2800, over time I'll improve, but when it's time to plan, I'll check. Is this about the rocket project? Okay, let's play knight bd7. We got a decent position. I have to check this again, but because I wasn't punished in the first one, I think I can get away with it. But I'm quite sure it's not the way. Well, I don't remember. It is a serious line though. Don't think that g4 is that bad. It exists. People have analyzed it. Okay, we're forcing him to think. So we're gonna repeat the same line. So they of course queen e2 was pretty bad. I'm assuming so. Now they go for this. And that h2 I'm expecting is probably pretty bad. So yeah, there we go. Just like that, it's refuted. Knight h2 is not even threatening anything. Just to, yeah. Okay, let's go knight f6. Now we're kind of in trouble. A little bit in trouble here. Actually, bishop b5, I'll seriously consider to go bishop 6h3 and give up the exchange, but it's not forced to even go for that. Queen e7, bishop e6, bishop e6, knight 64, knight 64. Okay, I feel like g6 is kind of suicidal. It's very scary. Very scary. Okay, I feel like a6 is going to be a useful move eventually. And I feel like I'm also burning time. Let's go bishop d7. I think castle and queen set in this position is just suicidal, but I didn't see anything else. They're gonna go bishop g2 probably. But then I can take and go bishop c6. Actually, I like the idea of putting the bishop on d7. So complicated. It is pretty tough to understand. Okay, let's go d5. Active looking move. We don't properly have time to evaluate it. But we can trust our intuition in this one. I don't mind the double pawns in front of my king in this case. One, I don't have much of a choice. Two, there are not many pieces around the king, and the light square bishop would disappear in the process of that. Oh, now I have to be careful because queen a5, there's rook a4. Queen b6, rook a4, bishop c5. Ah, but I blundered this. Ay. Okay, it's not over, but it's far from ideal. Okay, let's claim that it's all part of the plan. So let's try to build a fortress somehow. King b7, covering the entry square. Actually, it's not that clear. Technically, white is only 1 point ahead. And considering this is a blitz game. Okay, how Do we go bishop f8 or do we go g6? Ah, I don't have time to think. Okay, do we go takes or... I think takes, no? Passed pawn. This is a passed pawn. And my rooks are very well located. We're starting to see the light here. Queen takes a 7, rook e7, we win. Push. And don't look back. Rook d7, f5, f5, queen f7, still a problem. Let's come here. Cover our stuff. He's running out of time as well. This one is ours. Yeah, annoying. Pretty annoying. Okay, but let's put our bishop all the way back. And then ultimately go. That one's annoying. But now we can put back our bishop on c5. We can pre-move this. Rook e4. Doing, I don't know, covering c4, I guess. Duck. When did I get so long? Whoa, that's a mouse slip. What a way of ruining things. Okay, let's trick our opponent. Not clear still. Whoa. Ah, I'm too slow. These games are pretty close. I mean, I'm getting not very good positions out of the opening. But I'm close, I'm getting closer. He wants to get to 2800, that's what he's farming me. Hopefully one of these games we can come back. Okay, I feel I have to take right away now. Feel like I have to take, but okay, why would we take? Let's keep the tension. Let's keep the tension. Yeah, this is exactly the same thing that happened in the first game. So it gets to a point where we can no longer keep too much of attention, but okay. Let's try. Okay, we can go bishop h4 here, but then f6 potentially. Bishop h4, f6, bishop takes f5. I don't know what I think about that. Let's go for a decent, active looking move, such as what I did. Bishop e5 looks pretty weird, so let's take. It looks scary. But we're still technically up in development. Okay, knight d2 technically is not blundering, so let's go for it. Oh, maybe it was blundering. I don't know, I can always take on c6. Bishop takes f5 was a serious alternative. Knight f1 or knight f3? Knight b3, of course. Knight b3. Look at this. Okay, he had it all under control all of this time, of course. D takes e5. Doesn't seem to work. Yeah, he's playing pretty quickly. Let's finally trade. If g takes, knight d3 potentially. If that, queen f3 I was thinking. Not sure what that threatens though. Maybe I have to stop h3, so let's go h3 ourselves. Let's go queen d3. Actually, queen g4 is better. Struggling to see what where we're playing. Rook e2. Oh, yeah, I have to play quicker. Much quicker. Let's double in the E file. That doesn't look good. Takes. Yeah, this looks pretty bad. Knight D3. Actually, this one's maybe tricky. I don't know, there's 27 and 97. This is nothing. And now he's investing his time properly. Yeah. We're getting bad positions out of the opening and he's managing his time incredibly well. That's the reason. Blitz or bullet. I try to guess what my opponent wants to do on the board, but my brain just panics. Wow. Does this work? And I agree, Emmanuel. They're gonna go queen e5 and I'll resign. Yeah. Damite Rey. We're getting better positions with black somehow. Yeah, let me focus here. So g4. Maybe we should take here. I mean, let's take it as well. Because I struggle to see why I shouldn't come back. Or let's take here and then come back here. Let's repeat what we did. But maybe knight c5 is better. Wait a second, knight c5 is blundering the knight, so knight e5 I have to go. Knight h6 looks weird. I really don't want to play that. Knight 6 f2 is a candidate move, actually. What about queen h4? Queen f6, queen h4, bishop h3. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it. Okay, let's go back again. Knight c6. What did we learn from the last game? That we can take and play bishop c6 potentially. I mean, we were not losing. But we were, you know, it got scary. We were winning in that one, actually. Yeah, they do that now. So we're gonna act like we have, you know, we thought about that a long time ago and play quickly. Yeah, so knight 65 or bishop 65. Feels like I have to play that, unfortunately. And bishop e5. At least we blocked the diagonal. But on the flip side, seems like our opponent has all sorts of tactics against our king. There's a long sequence here with bishop e2 that I can't completely understand. Okay, let's... I don't find purpose if it's not because of that. I think this was quite unnecessary, actually, by my opponent. Ah, they're gonna go h4. But I have f5 g6. I mean, not now, of course. Okay, that one I didn't see. Actually, I'm helping my opponent. Now bishop anywhere, queen a8 is gonna be mate. Ay. c5. I think this one's gonna be the last game, because if not, I'm gonna continue getting destroyed for no reason. But yeah, I have no counterplay. I have no counterplay. Okay, let's try to make things Messy. Oh, that's pretty clean. Wait a second, is it? Check. Oh, well, of course it is. What am I doing? Like takes, queen a8 is made in 2. Yeah, this is pretty tough. Pretty rough. Yeah, that one's pretty heartbreaking. Okay. There's nothing I can do, right? Good games, Damite Rey. I'm gonna analyze those games and learn something before I play anymore and continue losing. I'm gonna go to the toilet in the meantime. I'm gonna put you these guys, as I usually do. Arc is well known, actually. See you in a second. Thanks for your patience. Arca got checkmated. Let's take a look at those games. So how many were they? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's open them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3 games with white, 3 games with black. I think we started with white. Okay. First game. So it was a Caro. Yeah, we started with white. It was a Caro-Kann. Let's click analysis. Let's use the engine. I played bishop f4. So this is all well-known stuff. Bishop f4. He goes bishop f5. So knight f3 is the main line. First of all, that's the first thing to get straight out of this. But here, normally against bishop f5, you have to take right away. And I got that feeling, but I didn't understand it. I asked myself, okay, my memory is telling me that I have to take right away. But why? How does that make sense? If I can take later on. So I played knight f3, and this is of course not wrong. And let's just compare it with the games, because I'm not understanding why. Still don't know why this is more useful, but for example, e6. Okay. So there's queen b3. So if I go knight f3 first, and I take here, there's also queen b3. So it's just a direct transposition. But if I castle, now queen b3 is not that efficient after bishop d6. So I give black enough time to play bishop d6. So I have to be pretty quick. So take, knight f3, and go queen b3 even before castling. Of course, you can't play queen b3 if your bishop is still on d3, because then bishop takes d3. So queen b3 here. Now wait a second. This is not even good according to the engine. This is like minus already. Well, it's equal, but it's not the best way to create post-trouble, post-questions. And this is just slightly better for white according to the engine. Yeah, then maybe we were getting good positions. Say I was just falling behind in the time management section because our game went like this. So very similar to the main engine line we just took a look at. I went 95, very logical. And this is where we started failing, I guess, because I went F3, and F3 is actually the first mistake of the game. So everything so far has been normal. Against him, her, and 3+2. Yeah, maybe. I feel like some players play religiously 3+0, and that's why, like if you take a look at Damitere, his, I mean, of course, this is not a criticism, but he usually plays more 3+0 than, I'm assuming he plays more 3+0 than 3+2. And I think sometimes it's, okay, it's easy to say, but I think potentially it's better to get into a higher blitz rating with 3+0 than 3+2, because 3+0 is less proper chess and more who moves the mouse quicker. But yeah, there's a fly here. Sorry about that. Because you can feel, yeah, man, you can feel that I wasn't getting punished. I mean, I'm the one getting punished, so I have no right to criticize. But yeah, like a 2700 would, you know, blow me off the board, like in the first mistake I make. That doesn't sound very well, but you get what I mean. Your opponent definitely knows the theory that bishop f5, then e6, then h5. If you don't take an f5, this is one of me. Yeah, I see. Yeah, my IM coach used to say that, like, you can get to title, of course, FM. There's the difference between FM and IM and GM and things like that are like knowing the structures of the line. So not only memorizing lines and knowing what to do, but of course understanding what's the plan. That's what takes people in the next level. And then the super highest level is Arjun, I guess. Have you been taking a look at the World Cup games? It's insane. Levon was playing incredibly well, but Arjun is not completely. I mean, other than he's doing much more chess probably than Levon, I'm not sure. But yeah, you can really see, like, people are essentially playing against the engine up to move 30 against Arjun. But okay, we got a good position. F3 is the first kind of moment of, I was just scared of 94. But then I can take, go 95 and then F3, which I have to kind of ingrain in my memory. It's very easy to just reject this move because these knights look superfluous. And that is true, but it's also true that I can take and play 95 and then F3, and then I don't get a super suboptimal knight on D2. So as soon as I play F3, this knight no longer gets the path to success. So if I execute the path of success, if that makes sense, first, and then play F3, that makes more sense. So what's the top engine line? 94, I go takes, B takes E6, 95. Let's say rook B8. Rook B8 is usually an annoying move. Ah, I see. That opponent was clearly... Nah. The opponent? No, I don't think so, Ernesto. I think he was just playing pretty quickly. Yeah. I think so. Oh, maybe let me check. Because it was game 1 and game 2 round 5, and game 1 was a draw. Game 2 he won. So that's it. He's eliminated. Ah, I see. Well, Ernesto, many people don't, like, purposefully don't make their title, they don't apply for the title just to stay a little bit more anonymous. Was his precision always 100%? I don't think so, no. In the first game he, like in this game actually, look. The game he let it slip. I don't know. Yeah. But now you made me feel better, Ernesto, so thank you. Yeah, so knight e5, like knight df3 was the way. So f3 I messed up, knight df3 is the best way, the better way. I mean, it's only allowing black to equalize, so it's, I mean, it's a mistake for high standards. It's not technically just losing, it's just allowing black to equalize. And here, I should have taken here again. Just play king h1, knight f1. What am I threatening here? Rook c1 and then c4. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, sorry. That makes tons of sense. What did I do instead? I went b4. This is super slow. Like, black will... This knight will get exchanged for the knight on e5, as it happened. And then these pawns are too slow. My opponent is arriving 1,000 times quicker. So it makes sense that I have to go for c4. Now, I can't go for c4 right away because knight takes d4 is always in the air. Even though it's not the best move here, it's good enough for black to have a slight advantage. Wow. That's surprising. Okay, this is tactically like the absolute best, perfectionist best for black. So that's why I guess the engine likes playing king h1 and then rook c1, c4. So the king is on h, like on h1, of course, is not going to get mated as easily as on g1. To beat an FM like u5-0 takes a GM at least. Well, hopefully, I mean, it is blitz chess. And I'm not a very good blitz chess player. They were losing in game 2. Let's take a look at game 2, actually. Okay, so I should have taken here instead of b4. And then if queen takes, king h1, h5 or knight h5. Knight h5 looks a little bit more annoying because knight f4 is a direct threat. Although I apparently ignored it with knight b3 with the idea of queen d2. What about knight f1? What's wrong with, like, knight b3 just seems to be getting out of the way. Knight f4. Okay. Let's see. Okay, next game. So let's close this tab. Let's close this one as well. Let's close this one. Okay, this is game 2, right? So game 2, we're playing the Pirc and they go g4. This is a well-known line. I'm looking forward to know what is the best. I mean, there's yeah, maybe it's g6, what Leon Lević recommends in his course, if I recall correctly now. And then at h5. Yeah, but maybe this is not easy play. What did I do? I took rook g1. Here, yeah, this is the part where knowing your theory is very valuable because you're not gonna come out with, I mean, not easily at least. Of course, this is a natural move, which is the main line, and the top engine move. But yeah, you would rather know this rather than trying to come up with it over the board, obviously. Knight g6 is the best. gf6, sorry. But then it's still pretty, like, compensation. There's enough compensation for white. The main line goes h6. Bishop e3. c6. Also game number 3. This is a pawn blunder, it seems. Oh, okay. No, Ernesto, this is a well-known. Like, g4 is not. I can reassure you that it's not a pawn blunder. If it was a pawn blunder, they wouldn't have done it in the next games. But okay, knight gf6, what was the line? c6? And then there's just tons of compensation. Tons. b5, bishop b3. There's a game of Gawain that Gawain won. So this was popular back in 2007. It seemed like a modern idea, but maybe okay. Easier to play with white in a blitz game, so I can get why people play this line. Absolutely, actually. Okay, but g6 maybe is a little bit easier to play. g5 is the main line. Knight h5. Bishop e3, you go bishop g7. Castles. Castles queenside, knight b6. c6 scores very well. d6 e5, d6 e5. Queen d6. And then queen e8. Looks pretty scary. This is +1 already. What? What? How did that happen? Queen d6. According to the engine, you have to play rook e8. Oh, there we go. That makes sense. So rook e8 is much better. Why? I guess... Let's compare these two lines. Ah, because there's bishop f8 ideas. Gotcha. Okay, well, we know enough. So let's close this. Let's see game 3. Thank you for joining, Emmanuel. Good luck with your project. Game 3. This is game 3. He kind of deviated a little bit. So he played g6 in game 1, I think. I know, he went knight c6, c3, and then g6. So he goes knight f6 in this one, c3, and then bishop g4. So queen b3 is the main line, but I went knight e2, which is the top engine move, at least in low, relatively low depth, at least relatively low for opening studies. So depth 44. Normally for openings, you would like, I don't know, depth 90, something insane. Thank you, Ernesto. Thank you. Bishop g4, so I went knight e2. Queen b3 is the main line, but knight e2 is the top engine move, as I said. Here I went bishop f4, and bishop f4 doesn't go here according to the engine. The engine likes h3, bishop h5, and then queen b3. Queen b6 runs into knight f4, and we get the bishop pair. Nope. We get this pawn. I see. So knight f4 is strong, and you have to go e6, and you just get the bishop pair this way, and you get the diagonal. It's very important, very concrete as well. Of course, you can't go bishop f4, so you go g4 first, and then you go bishop f4. Okay, and then what about... I mean, the engine also likes taking on here first, and then damaging the pawn structure. Okay. So we're playing some sort of London. But I went bishop f4, and then this game... We were doing well. I know, we were not doing well. We were doing okay until this point. Here, h3 was better. It turns out that bishop h3 was indeed better. But not for the reasons I thought. I thought f3, g4 had to be played. Like, I thought that I had to undo these things. I needed to attack these pieces because... I mean, the knight on h5 is pretty annoying. So I was either thinking h3, g4 or f3, g4. But it turns out that the engine just goes h3. And then castles short side like a normal chess player, and then goes c4, which is tough, because you have to, like, you get demotivated by knight b4, but then you get to a move that I struggle with calculating, which is c5. And in this kind of structures where you go c5, this is always difficult to evaluate, because what are you threatening with that? Just like you're just putting the pawn on c5 and you're claiming that the pawn on c5 is better than on c4. So yeah, this is an interesting moment. Knight c1 is the best move according to the engine, like the threat. So if black were to play nothing, knight c1 or knight bc3, but knight c1 is attacking this, and if knight f4, okay, this is insane stuff. But c5 is just for someone who understands the structure very well and doesn't care about the bishop pair, or understands that the bishop pair is not the main priority here. Do you think you were playing against a human after checking those two games? Yeah, I still think I'm playing against a human. E5, and then I'm losing here. Well, I mean, I'm worse. Not decisive, but I think it's pretty clear. And then all of a sudden I came back because, yeah, like this, all of a sudden I'm surviving, and I was doing well. Look at this. I know I'm back to bad. I'm back to worse. I could have played knight g3 here, according to the engine. I thought knight f5 was better. Oh, knight f5 was better, so I'm happy to see that. Queen g5 allows h6, so it's better to threaten queen g5 than to threaten knight f5. Because the queen is too vulnerable, I guess. And against h6, can put your queen on f4 instead, and yeah. Like, think about it in this way. Like, queen f4 here, your knight is still on d4. But if you play knight f5 and then h6, I have... Like, it's exactly the same position, but my knight is on f5. And what do I call that? Well, I guess I call it calculating and comparing lines. I'm quite sure there's probably a more technical name to it. Okay, well, we got a decent position and then we blew it again because we were kind of constantly in time trouble. I just want to know what happened here. So queen g5 is winning. Wow. So queen h6 directly doesn't win because of knight 6 h5, obviously. Not this, because it blunders rook takes d5 eventually, which is what I did. Should have done it here though. I just thought that I was blundering this, but it turns out that I have here perpetual, which is insane. Okay, tactics. I need to do tactics. But here I was winning. I just didn't see. Ooh, 97. What a beautiful move. And somehow it's slightly better for white. Wow, I'm down a knight and it's slightly better for white. It's mainly because of this. But I'm not getting the rook. It's just a pawn. Insane. Insane stuff. Okay. Pretty insane. Hello, Aaron. So now I'm losing because, of course, I played for tricks here. Well, this is the video game part of 3+0. Of course, this becomes less instructive, so I guess let's move on. What was this game? This is 4th game, I think. So now this one again, but he plays something proper instead of queen e2. Yeah, and I'm just losing. This is all bad. So where did I go wrong? Yeah, this is already bad. Queen e2, which was played in the first game. I know. I play queen f6 eventually, yeah. So this is kind of cancelled in this game. What was I bluffing here? Yeah, bishop g3 is pretty weird. Although, I mean, we were doing pretty well. It's not necessarily losing or anything. This felt very uncomfortable. I'm surprised this is equal. So it's not losing. It's not better for black either. It's equal. But now it's better for black. So according to the engine b4, threatening, d takes e5, f takes e5. And then something, well, like, let's ask the question again. Okay, maybe that's a bad move, okay. So how is this? Wow, okay, undermining the center with all the pawns I have. How on earth does this make sense? Okay. I mean, you can maybe sense that you need to play, but, you know, finding all of those moves. Well, this one makes more sense. It's more positional. The pawn is kind of not felt. I mean, the king is slightly more unsafe than mine. And, of course, this goes without saying because this is pinned. Fair enough. That was that. Instead of that, what did I play? I took and I played h3, and then eventually I ran out of time. And this one was just a complete disaster. Okay. So how many tabs do I have now? Misko has some cool gambits against the Caro-Kann. I think you need to make every move only one second early. So easy. How do you see it? It's just made in 34. Made in 34. Okay, let's see if we can redeem ourselves. Okay, 2600. Pretty good. Pairing. Hey, nice. Well, let's see. Let's not. We're gonna get an Alapin. Are we going to get d5? We're gonna get d5. Okay, he takes d5, he takes d5. So this is a reversed English. So we're playing the English with black. Like, we're playing against the English if we were black. So if white goes to 1 c4 and we go e5. We're playing that up a tempo. But the English, like, those two openings are interchangeable. So they take with the pawn. Of course, queen takes d5 would have been a little bit more suboptimal because it would just transpose into d4, but black doesn't have the additional option of going bishop d4 at any point. And here, if I recall correctly, I remember seeing Naroditsky playing bishop b5 quite often, but I'm gonna go d4 first because it looks very natural. It may be that it's inaccurate because black can play c4 potentially, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna go bishop b5 here. Actually, I had a game against an international master, I think, in this line. I'm gonna keep the tension. It looks pretty logical to keep the tension. Should I provoke c4? Nah. They're gonna go c4 either way. Interesting. So bishop g4 potentially is annoying, so I'm gonna play h3. I have to manage my time better. First time I say that in the history of streaming. Okay, knight g e7, I get it. I get it. Let's go a4. What does this benefit? I guess I kind of asked the question. Yeah, bishop f5 I was annoyed at. Should I be annoyed at this though? So let's take and play rook e1 because it's a check and it's too hard to resist. Let's see. Should we take? Starting to think all of this was a little bit premature. How do I get my pieces into the game? Okay, let's start with knight bd2. Actually, let's start with knight a3. Trying to provoke b4. And then I get knight c2 with tempo, more or less. And I like the idea of getting knight c2 with tempo because then my knight is getting into the game with knight e3. Well, actually, now that I look at it closely, it's not like I achieved tons. But okay, we're here already. We can't do much about it. Let's go g3, king g2, h4. Of course, both mine and my opponent's light square bishop are traded. So it makes sense. Or it's not that scary. I have 40 seconds against 2 minutes, 20 seconds. So we're not doing well. Okay, knight g5. Queen c2, knight g5. Knight g5 makes sense. Forces black to make a decision. Okay, let's drop back. A little bit like on the edge here, in the edge. Oh, I feel... This looks very shaky. Queen e1. Oh, I didn't see this. This seems feels very shaky. But I think there's nothing, unfortunately. Okay, I completely missed that, of course. Whoa, I'm super lucky. But I'm gonna run out of time here. Too slow. They predicted it. It's not even close. Not sure if I resigned. I resigned with 0.0. Okay, sorry. That's my way of dealing with loss. Let's analyze that one. I have to play much quicker. So we got our Alapin. We were pretty happy about this. Our happiness didn't last long. E takes d5. You go d4, knight c6, bishop b5. So this is all correct. a6 is a sideline, and I knew this was a sideline, but... Okay, of course, more natural. So bishop a4 is a mistake. Bishop takes c6. And 95. Wow. That's so unintuitive. It's much more intuitive to castle short side. It was a funny rook exchange. Yeah. Unintentional though. And objectively unsound. Objectively unsound? Unsound. Every delayed Alapin. I think that's what they call it, like the Lichess opening base calls it. But what is the... okay, I guess the normal Alapin is e4, c5, c3. True, true. That's the correct terminology. I'm gonna start using that. Yes, computers do exchange too much. Exchanging on d5. So my question here is, how on earth is 95 better than Castle's short side? And let's try to figure it out. So, I don't know. Castle's bishop d6. That's the way it goes. And 95 bishop d6, you don't castle here. You just take the pawn. So 95 is literally just threatening to take the pawn. So let's press X. Okay, never mind. I thought I was starting to understand this, but so when you press X on the Lichess, I've said this before, while analyzing, it tells you what move you're threatening. So if it was white to play again, what will you play? And right now, +1 is Castle short side at depth 25. So +1 is Castle short side. And there is knight takes e6 in the top 3, but it's the third one and it's plus 0.6. So quite a big difference. So why on earth is this? Well, I guess that. Yeah, castling short side. It's okay, okay. Okay, and just okay. Okay. And queen b6. You castle short side and you play rook e1, and what if knight f6, let's say? Queen e2, and let's say bishop d6. Okay, there are already tactics, I see. Bishop e7, there are already tactics again. So what about knight e4? Okay. So it's much more sharp. It's much sharper, sorry, than I thought. Queen b7. Playing against knight takes f7 no longer works because of queen takes f7. Sorry. Actually, this is playable, yeah. So this is no winning for white, even though it is a pawn. I guess because white is pretty underdeveloped. So knight d2 is the top engine move here. Okay. And then knight takes f7. So you play knight d2, knight b3 first, and then this endgame is slightly better. Thanks, yeah. But we both know that 3+0 is... we should, I guess, stay away from it. I think it's good for the openings. But then, like, when you switch to 3+2, you're starting to blunder pieces and you're trying to play on time. And but yeah, it's just a guilty pleasure, and it makes it so we can get more games. Yeah, I've been managing my time poorly for quite a long time right now that I think about it. Okay, well, who would have known? Bishop a4 is slightly inaccurate. Bishop takes c6. I mean, it keeps the momentum. Castle short side is not wrong either. It's not that bad. But it leads to different positions. I just refuse to believe that 95 is better than castle short side. And the main line here is castle short side, and it scores very well for white. So why would I play 95? It's just... It's a good example of when to believe the engine and when to not. And I should be showing this. Why is it not showing? Oh, there we go. So there we go. 95 is slightly better. According to the engine depth 31, but okay. The engine is wrong sometimes. It's true. Guilty pressure was still. Well, that may be actually just an illusion, because I did quite a lot of the shorts. The amount of games that I've been bantering and then I lose on time is like 3 out of 10. I think the shorts make it look like it's actually better than what it actually is. Propaganda. Hello FSK Chess. Sorry about that. I'm probably going to continue playing 000 against these 2600 people because it's kind of more nurturing to the openings I'm playing. But okay, bishop b5. I guess we're gonna take on c6 next time. The main line here was bishop d6, and we did get that back when we played this against an IM. I think in the last stream. And we just treat this position as an IQP. We play against the isolated queen's pawn. We put our knight on b3. This is the main line. We continue with bishop d3. And these are all the top engine, well, I mean, the main line, the most popular moves. And that one I can leave with. It's fine. Sorry, FSK Chess. I don't doubt you have a secret weapon. Would you mind telling us the secret weapon, by the way? Thanks, mind of kind. Hope to play chess soon. Keeping it cold. Keeping it what was the word? Okay, I felt it went away. Cryptic. There we go. Okay, now I can start thinking about chess. So let's play the Philidor with e5. Sorry. Okay, now we're gonna see if we're gonna get g4. We're well booked. Or g4. They play rook g1. That's insane. Why is everyone playing this against the Philidor? Okay, against rook g1. Why did I not check? It was our opportunity to check. This is classic for chess. We study for a line and they play something else. But okay, g4 is one line. Of course, rook g1 is another series line. I guess I got g6 here. G6. I think I recall this, and I take on d4. I don't remember. Oh, this is insane. Okay, let's play normal chess. Let's put our knight on h5. Maybe this just transposes. Let's hope it transposes. Okay, there we go. Already a mistake, probably. Already a mistake. Okay, let's go knight e5. Maybe knight c5 was better. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. If my opponent plays knight d5, I'll seriously consider resigning. Okay. Not sure about this, by the way. My opponent is up a pawn, but I'm threatening knight f3 and knight takes f5 at the same time. And if queen takes e7, wow, we're very lucky today, huh? Funnily enough, I'm not my knight is not escaping. I can give it away for a pawn. That's pretty sad. Should I castle or should I castle? Oh, king d7. That's a tough question, actually. I have to play quickly regardless of the answer of that. Yeah, this is pretty tough. Okay, let's castle queens. Now let's play knight h3 first. Where do I want my opponent's king? I know, I go h6. There we go. They have to go g6 because this looks pretty bad. Yeah, this looks pretty bad. Okay, I can check. I can go d5. Oh, maybe this was inaccurate. Actually, let me check first. And then rook h3. And then I go rook c3. And I'm reasonably happy. Because now I have rook d8. And rook c2 is still a threat. Okay, now let me go here. It's a miracle that we survived that. We have 16 seconds. Why? Haha, there we go. Okay, let's not relax. We're close to. Wrong pre-move. Ah! Actually, that pre-move saved me. Wow. That was a very intense game. Thanks for the game, Olivia Rodrigo fanboy. Now we're gonna check what to do against rook g1. Of course, very important. By the way, bishop c4 is by far the main line. I should have mentioned this earlier. And g4 is just a sideline. And rook g1 is just a sideline. But these two sidelines have been pretty trendy in the last couple of years. Okay, it is queen h5. It is not a troll. I studied a course on it. I want to see if you can defend it. I know that you're strong, but no one studies it unless me. Yeah, I see. Like, I believe you. At least in blitz chess, I'm quite sure that's going to be a big surprise. So e4, e5, queen h5. Interesting. I'll try studying it then. Hope you can find someone strong to test it with. G6 was right. Bishop g7. But taking on d4. Actually, taking on d4 is right. Bishop g7 is right. Okay, so we played pretty... Ah, of course! Of course, I knew this, I knew this. I had seen this. So you sacrifice on e4 for the sake of... it's just tactics, like you can't hold to these two knights and there's d5. Although there's this line with knight b5 and knight b6, which is pretty insane. I remember that. Yeah, I saw a game actually. I think this is what Wesley played against Leon Levaj in their blitz match. And he did pretty well actually. Yeah. It just goes off to show how much more these guys know. You know, tons of theory, tons. This is the difference between super GMs and GMs. Well, the difference already with IMs and GMs actually, sorry. Super GMs just know absolutely everything. It's just a completely different level. So actually that's why people don't play g3. That's why people play bishop e3 first. And only after castle g5. And then I have to go 98. But it's still reasonable. Slightly better for white. Okay. Well, now we know. Okay, we're playing against someone of our level. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna get a more positional one, I feel. Ah, okay. So we're gonna be allowed to play e4. Ah, so okay. Let's play bishop e7. It's considered to be slightly more accurate than knight f6, just to prevent bishop g5 for one more move. See what our opponent plays. I think this is known as the English rat. Pretty peculiar name. And I think we go c6. Or do we go h6? I think we go c6. Do we go a5? Seems reasonable. We go knight a6. At some point we want to go bishop e6. I don't want to go h6 for the sake of going bishop e6 because then knight h4, knight g6 is annoying. And I don't want to have to play king h7 against knight h4. So I'm gonna go knight a6. Keep the bishop on c8 for now. I'm gonna take once and play knight c7. And I think this is where our pieces belong. So they go b5, okay. Is this where our pieces belong? So we can take. I want to play king h8. They're loosening the c6 square, so they can attack it. Can I go e4 followed by d5? Let's go king h8 first. Okay. Now I can go bishop e6. But then knight g5, bishop g8, knight takes c6. Okay, that's annoying, but I can go bishop d7. Okay, now I can go bishop g8. Maybe not necessary actually, maybe I can go e4. I'll go e4. Okay, let's go bishop g8. Because then e4 becomes stronger. Okay, that I missed. I have to play quicker. That one I missed as well. So now I'm missing 1,000 things. Queen d7. Now I missed this. Good lord. Okay. Wow, I collapsed my position on me. Wow. I'm getting destroyed, absolutely destroyed here. Knight g4. Okay. We're only down an exchange. Rook b8 at some point, and I'm getting quite obliterated. Okay, now I'm getting less obliterated potentially. My hopes are in pretty much this endgame. Okay. Ah, I'm down something. Okay, we've defended until now. Now we're lost. And we got checkmated. It could have promoted to a rook. Good game. What did I do wrong? Theory, everything's theory so far. And here, Queen E8 is the main line. Thanks for subscribing, Pekka. Most people insult you about Queen H5. Actually, it's very strong in blitz and bullet. Many Indian GMs played in short time. There are many sidelines that are worth exploring. And in Queen H5, I think it was even used by Nakamura. When ICC, Internet Chess Club, which back in the day was the equivalent of Lichess or chess.com, there was not much other than that. I think Hikaru used to play it there. So yeah, I think it's serious. I went c6. c6 is fine still. Rook b1, a5, a3. So I didn't understand what was going on. So I should have gone bishop e6 according to the engine. Yeah, but this is what I don't like. So after knight g5, according to the engine, I had to go bishop c8. Actually, bishop d7 is fine according to the engine now. But it's very low depth 25. Okay, b4, I take b4, I take b4, and then h6, knight f3, bishop e6, knight h4, 28. Ah, this makes sense, yeah. Okay, what about h6 now? Knight h4 and queen e8, yep. So that's why people play queen e8 instead of c6. Because they want to play... Ah, they want to go queen h5. Ah, it's a reversed Dutch, yeah. Now I get it. Now I get it. That's why people go queen e8. Well, according to the engine, like, queen e8 is not the best. According to the engine, a5 is the best. But the one that scores the best is queen e8 somehow. Actually, it scores pretty well. I guess it's just a pure reverse Dutch, and it's pretty good. So what happened in our game? I took knight c7, b5, I go king h8. And I'm absolutely fine here. I should go knight e6 though. I didn't know which piece to put on e6. It's not obvious. What am I doing with knight e6? I'm threatening knight d7. Okay. Well, that's not obvious. Why am I threatening knight d7? So if white goes king h1, I'm playing knight d7. And if white goes king g1, what am I doing then? e4. Wow. Okay. What does that achieve? Queen a5 it achieves. Okay. So black's sorry, I'm trying to chase away a fly. Black's moves are kind of disconnected. Nothing funnier than that. I think a couple of days ago when I streamed, there was this line in the exchange Caro-Kann where white goes h4 and then knight a3. So that's the tricky thing about using the engine. Sometimes the engine just proposes things that are not like illogical, but it's just, it doesn't help you understand the position better. But yeah, I don't know what this like this 96 move then is. Like, okay, let's see if white plays something decent. Okay, and let's say white plays queen c2. And let's say white plays knight d2. Yeah, this is very difficult. Very difficult. I don't understand that. It's very... Ugh. Okay, so next time I'm gonna play a5. And I'm gonna play h6. This makes more sense. Because I'm after knight h4 I play queen e8, preventing knight g6. And let's say white plays king h1. Like, this one has more purpose. Because you go bishop e6, you go knight bd7. And this is very often a much better square for the knight, or just more natural, because you're not going knight a6 and knight c7, you're going knight bd7 right away, and you have access to the normal c5 squares, and you're threatening to go d5 much quicker. So this one has better purpose, so you can understand this one much more easily. You go a5, you go h6, bishop e6, if knight h4, you go queen e8, and you're looking for d5. And if the knight continues to be on f3, you go knight bd7 and then d5 to defend e5. Good evening from Turkey. Hello. Okay, well, I'm gonna go h6 next time. We're playing against a 2581. Let's put our Philidor to the test. Okay, we're gonna get this one. Bishop c4. You go king e8. Not f3, I go bishop d6. f3. f3. I think I can still go bishop d6, but bishop b4 is more active now. c6 looks tempting. I'm gonna go bishop c5. Okay. Not sure what that achieves. Ah, they want c3. Okay, let's go king e7. I'm not threatening bishop e6 yet. It's important to note. Okay. Let's play quickly. Quicker. Okay, let's play c6 first and then bishop e6. I guess we can go a5, but I prefer knight d7. Knight d7 is more natural. Okay, a5. So we like none of us have weaknesses. It's a symmetrical structure. Oh, but now I can take and play a4. But I'm a little bit worried about knight f5 checks. I can also play a4 right away. Okay. That one I'm not worried because I have bishop f2. So let's take and play a4. I could have prevented it with h5, but I think I'm quicker. And if b4, I have bishop f2. Wow. Mott. Wow, this is pretty brave. Okay, let's play h5, stop that. So now we have the a file open. All for ourselves. The only file in the game which is open. We can take once, like we can... But I think there's no need. So we need to put this knight somewhere where it's gonna do some damage. Ah, okay. That's clever. Rook c4. No. I'll have to take, unfortunately. And my opponent is going to claim that the d file is for nothing. So I'll have to, unfortunately, back down. Now that was pretty clever. Pretty well understood by my opponent. Okay, let's come here. So it's equivalent to as if like they had taken a knight, the rook d1, king e7. So very similar to a potential other line that could have occurred. B4 is tempting. F5 is not working, I think. I'll have to come here. Takes and play king f7. So now my knight is coming to e6. But I'm running out of time. Wow. So now I can go king e7. So they have a weakness. This is a tough decision to make with a couple of seconds. Ultimately, I go for this. I shouldn't have gone for this. Wait, almost pre-moved something pretty suboptimal there. Check first. A blunder. Oh, this is pretty embarrassing. Good game, good lord. It could have happened. Like, anything could have happened. Ay, ay, ay. That was pretty pathetic. But I was never objectively winning either. Should have taken the draw. What am I doing? What was happening in the game? I mean, it was very drawish from the very beginning, and of course I have no right to complain given that I'm the one playing the Philidor. F3 is the second most popular move. New knight F3, more or less. I go bishop C5, which is not the best. According to the engine, C6 is the best. Why? Okay. Take a knight C5 and then... Okay, this is very engine-ish. Of course, the engine puts the pieces wherever they want. Yeah, I felt like this is fine. Bishop e6 is a mistake, though. They wanted a5, provoke a4, and then provoke h4, and then knight a6, and then bishop b4. Okay. And what if white is, like, plays, I don't know, rook b1? Just rook d8. Okay. Bishop d2, they want bishop b4. They want to exchange the dark squares. The dark squared bishops. Why? Why would they? Why? Why do they want that? Why do they not just go? I don't know. Okay, bishop e4 makes sense, I guess. And the knight reroutes to c5 later on. Okay, I mean, we didn't do anything completely wrong. We just managed our time very poorly. May you play perk defense? I'll try. Oh, we're playing against the same player. We're playing with the white pieces now. Maybe they played the perk against us. Okay, we kind of looked at some of the lines in this Caro-Kann. So let's go knight. No, let's go bishop f4. Let's go queen b3. Queen c8. Hello, Ronald. Thanks for subscribing. I need to manage my time. Keep an eye on the time. We need to keep an eye on the time. Okay, now we can play knight f3 without worrying about the doubling of our pawns. So now we close the short side. Let's take, because I don't think the h file is worrying. And actually I'm gonna try to go for c4. Which is the only pawn break I see feasible. I don't think it's ready to go for it. I think c4 now would be premature. Actually, now that I think about it, I think I should be rerouting my pieces into the king side so I can attack. So let's just go for c4. I think I kind of already... a6 is also asking for it. a little bit more because knight takes c4, knight b6. Queen a4 is forcing knight takes c4, but then b3. Queen a4 is forcing knight takes c4 because we're hitting the knight. But then b3, b5. Ah, that's a queen trap. Wow. Okay, is there any other way? I don't think so. Let's go queen d3 then. That's a little bit of a shame, by the way. Oh, maybe we can go queen c3. Actually, look at this. Queen c3. Knight takes c4, I go b3. I'm not interested in the pawn. I'm sacrificing a pawn. But I get the c file. So this could be either a genius move or pretty pathetic. We'll find out. Let's go queen a5. Yeah, I think it's pretty pathetic. A little bit unnecessary as well. Okay, we have to prevent knight b5 or knight e8. Actually, I can't stop both of them. Yeah. Okay, let's go queen b6. Ah, queen c5 is better. I know. I'm not sure. Knight f5 was unclear. I mean, we're down a pawn, but okay, what is that pawn? Like, what would that pawn be? The one on the e file? It's fine. And we're taking on b7 worst case scenario, so if we were really worried about the pawn, bishop takes d6, rook takes b7 is coming. Unless black has a way of, you know, mitigating that. Okay, now we're kind of saying, you know, let's go back to normal, but I think black is slightly better in the resulting position, unfortunately. But okay, we experimented, it didn't work out. That's life. Let's go a4. Push that another way. Okay, rook c1, of course, is not... Like that's horrible. 92 would be winning everything. And 95 was my idea here, but I'm considering bishop e5. Considering bishop c7 as well. g4. I like g4. So now my idea was g5. And 95. Well, okay, I'll have to play h4 potentially. And then 95. Okay, we go 95. Hitting this pawn. Rook d7, hitting this knight. Okay, this is good. It's gonna get quick. Ah, that's a clever move. Okay, bishop e5. That was a very close one. Was it winning at the end? King f8? Well, good luck to me finding rook f6 in time trouble. Or h5. What's the idea of h5? Now we have rook h7. And this and that. And you can sense that white is winning. Doing that with 5 seconds is quite brave. Hello, Dev. No, we've been analyzing games. We've been playing. We've had very strong players, so we've gathered quite a bit of information about our opening. The camera's gonna run out of battery soon, so if you guys see black at some point, don't worry. We were in the main line actually. Bishop g4, queen b3, queen c8. This is a side line, but it's either queen d7 or queen c8. I go knight d2. And here I should have castled according to the main lines. But h3 is absolutely fine. So yeah, this was we were following the main line for a long time, which I'm quite happy to see. It's a very good sign whenever you're analyzing your games, and if you guys see that you're following the main line for a long time, it means that you're playing pretty logically. Because and it's also important to note, I'm using the Masters database. You should always use the Masters database. Those are games that were played OTB, and they're pretty strong players, so they know what they're doing. Now here I went for the novelty rook ac1, also known as making a move that is not part of the main line, part of theory, probably suboptimal. But you know, if you're trying to lift yourself up, you can call it a novelty, a surprise weapon. That's essentially what they do in the World Championship, you know, Dingliren playing h3 against Nepo. Good example of that. Okay, well, Queen d1 is the top engine move. Rook fe1 is the most popular move. Rook fe1 makes tons of sense. I just think, yeah, Rook fe1, I'm just think, take a look. Castle short side. e1 a5. Yeah, this is typical stuff. Not sure what the difference. I mean, it is a big difference now that the bishops are over the board. The dark square bishops are still alive. So I guess we approach this pretty differently. I mean, black still wants some sort of minority attack in the queen side. Ah, look, interesting. So the engine exactly goes for that. They exchange the dark square bishop. So positional chess is about a lot of things. So pawn breaks is one of them. Or maybe, you know, improving pieces. But another very important question that GMs ask themselves all the time is, which pieces should I exchange? And in this case, I'm hoping that a GM would realize this pretty quickly. Okay, or h4, h5, that's another plan. But I guess that also h4 reinforces g5 in some way. I'm going to the toilet. Hey, Viking! I'm doing well. We've been playing against strong players, learning a lot of theory. I have tons to analyze after this. You guys think that, like, this is not the only analysis that I do. I have to commentate the games. I have to put them in a database. I write down my thoughts. So I'm gonna probably look back on this stream and write that down, especially against the first player we played against, the 2700. Although that was more time management. But okay, I'm doing well. Viking, how are you doing? I was worried that your ship had sunk or something. But that wasn't Viking, that was Emmanuel, right? Wasn't this the rocket science project? Yeah. But what we played instead was, I mean, it was interesting, it wasn't worse. But the pawn sacrifice was completely unnecessary. I mean, we can just take twice and it's equal. I just wanted to kind of put black a little bit more in the hot seat, but I failed miserably because black has enough activity, and it's not like I was hoping that the C file was going to give me enough compensation, enough initiative. And I don't know. Black would have to, you know, give me give me back the pawn plus some activity, but actually turned out that I was the one bailing out, which is about like now I have my pieces all around the place and I don't have the C file anymore, and D4 is weak. So essentially what I've done with all of that messing around is I exchanged the pawn from the C file for the pawn on the B7 pawn, the B7 pawn, and it didn't work out. I'm gonna go to the toilet. I'll put you guys this Leechess broadcast. Where's my slipper? Oh, that's made into. I'll be back in a sec. I'm glad, sir. I'm good. Thanks. I'm just done on a 21st birthday party. Viking, you shouldn't be here. You should be enjoying your party. Happy birthday. We have pretty close birthday dates now that I think about it. Happy birthday, Viking. Don't feel the need to stay. Like, yeah. Go for it. I'll be back in a sec. Let's see if we can dedicate the game to... Oh no, we're lagging. Next win is for Viking. '21 is a big birthday. Ah, so you're 2004. Oh no, wait. Yeah. Okay. 24. Let's see if we can get an Alapin. Okay. So we're gonna play the perk. Someone was mentioning the perk. Of course, this would be with the white pieces, not the black pieces. Well, it could be a perk or it could be a Philidor. Stopping here for a second because yeah. Okay, let's see. How can we transform this? Let's go knight d2. And against d5, I'm gonna go c3. Which is actually... I played this against the GM not long ago. And it was surprisingly tricky. That was the black pieces, so I'm gonna flip this for a second. That was the black pieces, and it was not easy to... Actually, it's some sort of like Italian, actually. Actually, twice. Okay, h3 is a natural move that we have to speed up here. I think b3 is a natural move, but let's play rook e1. Let's see if we understand these positions well. I'm gonna go b3, bishop b2. Let's go bishop a3. Okay, they saw it. I was threatening d takes e5 sometimes. Maybe not even properly threatening. I'm gonna put all of my pieces in good squares. Let's see if we can go here. So now that my bishop is not doing much, or maybe it is doing something, I'm gonna go bishop f1 regardless. 93, knight f5. Oh, wait a second, I blundered? I blundered that guy.
Let's go and get that double exclamation.
Viking! Goodness gracious, Viking. Thank you a lot. It should be the other way around, you know? It's your birthday, not mine. Okay, I should take here and play here, because this is pinned. Whoa! Wow, this is the birthday effect. Thanks a lot, Viking. That's insane. Am I lagging? Oh no. Yeah, I guess my opponent... if I was my opponent, I would be processing it as well. Let's not completely claim victory yet, as we know that 3+0 chess is, yeah, quite unpredictable, managing your time. But this is pretty, like, out of the blunders you can make, this one's a pretty bad one. Like, there's no compensation. Do you want a rematch? Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure why they asked it if they're gonna continue playing. Let's go bishop d6. c4. Trying to break the queenside pawns so I can play something with c5 in this. Okay, the rematch. We were a little bit lucky there. Viking. That win. That was the Viking effect. So let's go d6. They're gonna play the Philidor with white as well. Okay, let's try to both play the Philidor then. Or maybe I'm just playing. Yeah. I guess I can go d5. Okay. I'm gonna go h6. Should I go h6? I'm gonna go e5. Okay, we allowed that actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I shouldn't have. Let's take once. Let's go rook e8. So this, my idea was knight d4. But of course that's... Maybe knight b8 was better. Okay, let's go bishop g4. Let's go rook c8. C takes. And knight d5. Trying to go for knight c3. Or just keeping the tension. Maybe I just go rook c8. We can go knight c3. Let's go queen d7. We need to keep an eye on bishop takes b7. Why Viking? It's the second time you donate. Shouldn't be this way. You're too generous. Thank you. Okay, well that's surprising. I can play b5 first.
W's in the chat. Fire
Whoa!
emoji. Fire emoji.
Viking.
Fire emoji. Fire emoji.
Goodness gracious. I don't know what to say. I'll think of something. I'll think of something. This is too much for me. What am I doing? Ah. This is insane. Yeah, that's annoying. Okay, let's go b4. That was a very bad move by me. Good game, Killer Saba. Viking, goodness gracious, that was insane. That's insane. Yeah, it's insane. I'll see. Yeah, I'll. It's too. It's pretty. It's pretty. Pretty generous. Thank you. Let's analyze that game. So we played some sort of like mirror version. Of course, we had an absolutely fine position. I decided to go d5. Kind of I don't know. It's fine according to the engine. I should have gone a5. It was fine. Then I allowed b5. So e4 was the bailout. Already you have to be careful.
Stonewall for white, please. Praying gesture emoji.
Goodness gracious, Viking. Thank you. Thanks, Viking. It's gonna go all back. All of this is going back into chess somehow, yeah? Don't worry. That's insane. Never been... You know, it's a first for me. Like 3 times into the same stream. Ay. Okay, it's gonna go back in chess, you know? All of this is going back to chess somehow. Good lord. Every time like I'm like I'll play the Stonewall, yeah. I'll play in the Stonewall. I'll try to play the Stonewall. Okay, now we're fine after knight d5. And we're completely winning here. But we have to find either... Yeah, bishop h3 wasn't it. Bishop e6 was pretty strong. Okay. But this is absolutely winning. And b5 is a good move. Here I just couldn't work it out. And here I just completely messed everything up. Okay. I'll manage my time better next time. Stonewall with white. Okay. So how do we start the Stonewall? d4. And I guess f4. Okay. So in the Stonewall, very often this bishop is a problem. There's no good way. Maybe I should have played bishop g5 first. Okay, it's fine. So now I'll try this, and that. If bishop a6, I'm just gonna let my opponent take on d3. Okay, so they're gonna try to go for f5. I can take on e4. I can go bishop h4. I think I'm gonna go bishop h4. Yeah, this is very weird. My opponent already spent one tempo with bishop b7. Why would they go bishop a6 now? This is definitely suboptimal. I'm gonna go knight bd2. I don't care about the doubling of the pawns here, because then the pawn on d3 is very useful, and also the c file gets open. Yeah, I think f5 there was probably better. Okay, I'm gonna try to go rook c1 and 95. Already probably a big positional advantage for white. Although I did underestimate knight f5. I'm gonna go bishop f2. I want to keep that bishop. I think the potential of the bishop increased significantly after after knowing that it can come here to this diagonal. If it was still in the, I don't know, if it was still inside the pawn chain over here, it would be less the case. Okay, here, because the queen is on d6, now I have e4. Takes, 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 I have knight c4. And the king on h1 is useful because there's no longer knight takes f3 check. Which wasn't intentional, but it was. I mean, it was part of the... I know it's a fact that the king on h1 is much more safe. Much safer, sorry. Then on g1. Okay, 95 is a candidate move, e5. We have to keep the momentum. So knight c4, queen takes f4, bishop e3 doesn't work. e5 leaves too many holes. So I like 95. I like 95, it stops knight g4 as well. But queen d5 I take on c7. Yeah, this is a tough choice. And I also get 94. Okay, I'm gonna go e5. It also plays against this bishop. I was lagging there for a second. Hopefully you can hear me now. Yeah, c6 I underestimated, unfortunately. Let's try to keep pressure on c6 now that it's a weakness. Okay, let's double. Actually, not, that wouldn't be doubling, that would be something else. I'm gonna play queen b3 now that the rook is not on f8. f7 becomes a weakness. I'm gonna put my rook on d1. Yeah, that's a little bit annoying. I'm gonna have to play knight c3. If e6, I play... Well, many interesting things are happening here. Okay, let's go. It's tough to choose here, but let's go 91, knight d3. Yeah, that's one of the disadvantages, but I'm gonna come back to f3. Let's take with the pawn, unfortunately. Yeah, this went out of control. Yeah. Okay. I survived somehow. Actually, how are we losing here? I mean, I have no doubt we are. But how exactly? Oh, by allowing my opponent in. Okay, let's not do that ever again. Aha, that's how we lose. Ah, we could have taken the bishop then. Yeah, sorry Viking, I tried. There's much more better Stonewall than last time you memorized. No, I didn't memorize. Yeah. What an epic fail. Oh, there goes my camera. Give me a sec. There we go. No, I didn't memorize any lines. If anything, I messed up because the very little I learned, or I thought I learned, was that I needed to take out the bishop first. I've seen that played in the top level, like something like, I don't know, d4, d5, bishop g5, and then f4. Something of this sort. In my defense, in my defense, what is it? Like, in my defense, I have nothing in my defense. I get a completely nice position. The moment we thought 95 or e5 proved to be pretty critical, because 95 is +2 and e5 is only +1. Only. I mean, it's still pretty good, but... I was scared of c5. But of course, this is just a pawn. I just blundered the queen there. Yeah, I mean, this is just creating hold for no reason. I mean, why did I give f5? Ay. Like, Viking, that was insane. Like, you're probably refunding all of those donations now. Rightfully. I'll try again, but it won't get any easier than that. Like, playing against someone who allowed c takes d3 and played bishop b7 and then bishop a6. I didn't know that. It's okay. Okay, how do we get a stone wall if my opponent plays 1e4? I don't think it's possible. Okay. I'll try again with white. Let's play another Philidor. Okay, let's play e5. I feel like they're gonna exchange. No. We're well booked up because we've been playing as rook g1 and g4, but now finally we get the main line. I'm gonna go bishop e7. So castle short side, a4. Sorry. I'm gonna play h6 first, although I think I can already take here. I can also play c6, but okay, I'm gonna play... Actually, I'm gonna play c6. So I'm gonna play a5 back, because very often white playing a5 is pretty annoying. So they go h3. And what was my conclusion? Oh yeah, the conclusion was that I take here, and I play knight c5. And the idea is bishop e6. So there was another way of playing, which is, like, let's say white had played, I don't know, a4 here, and I play a5, and then they play rook e1, I can take, and then go knight e5, bishop b3, or bishop a2, and then knight c6, exploiting b4. But in this case, because I already have a pawn on c6, I can't go knight c6. This is another way of playing in general. And Leon Levitch, which I keep referencing, but because you guys should check out his YouTube channel, he plays these lines extremely well, and I seek to play those lines well as he does. I'm gonna go bishop e6. I'm not worried about losing the bishop pair, especially because the queen is on f3 actually. I can take with the f pawn and the rook is x-raying the queen. But even if it wasn't because of that, I would be able to take back with my knight, and it's pretty solid. Okay, now the question of $1 million. I think I take with the f pawn, because I have d5. It reinforces d5, and also the x-ray. Well, I'm surprised about that. So knight d5 was my initial reaction. But also takes, and queen d4. Looks tempting. I guess there's... Yeah, I don't know what the move is there. It could be just winning a pawn. But even if I'm winning a pawn, I mean, it's just... it's not for much. So I'm gonna go knight d5. Like, I prefer not to win the pawn. I prefer to go for d5. If I manage to get d5 healthily, if that's a word, I'll be happy. So a good question to answer as white now is, where do you put your queen? Queen g3 runs into bishop h4. Pretty good timing. Queen g4 would have run into... yeah, maybe that was the best. But I guess knight takes 3 and then d5. But knight takes e3, there's bishop takes e6. Knight takes e6, queen takes e6. Maybe there's d5 at the end and it's worth the pawn. But now this is completely losing. Oof, oof, oof. That can't be right. We play bishop g3. Let's not get arrogant. This is how we fail, and like 99% of the time. But we go check first. We provoke king e2. We go rook f2. And now it's not only... like, it's just... everything is a discovery. You know, check is a discovery. This... it's mate. Well, I'm quite sure there's a way for white to sacrifice all their pieces and avoid mate. But for example, rook e2, knight b2, and then queen d1. Thanks for the game. There we go. That's your Stonewall Viking. I mean, technically, when you take a look at the structure, and if you flip the board... I'm joking. Okay, it's not a Stonewall. But look at those pawns. I mean, those pawns do look like a wall, so... okay. Now, if opponent plays e4, you need to play a French setup and transpose if they don't play d4, e4. Okay, okay. Fair enough. That was a very good... thank you. I mean, I guess after all of those losses... Sasha, well, Bortnik is playing. Who's Tiny Monster? Anonymous. But Night King is Bortnik, right? Yeah. Rook h5, threatening. Not rook takes h7 yet. But I guess rook f4. Yeah, there we go, we got a game. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry about that, Viking. I'll play it next time. I'll try to get a quick win. Sorry about that. c3. Let's play quickly. I completely forgot. Bishop e2, of course. Oh my goodness, what am I doing? I'm messing up. Okay, let's just claim this is some sort of a Smith Mora. What a catastrophe. This game was insane. Okay, let's go d5. I did everything wrong. Okay, let's not panic. It can get worse from here. That was insane. Okay, we're gonna get into this very bad endgame. I didn't want to do this. Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. Okay, now d6 is a weakness, at least. At least. Bishop e6. Okay. So I don't want them to go d5, but I don't think I have a choice. Because c4, d5 either way. Knight g5 seems annoying, so let's make that move. Nah, that was pretty pathetic. And now we have the bishop here. Hopefully that's going to provide some compensation. Okay, let's double. We're gonna go bishop b5. I think it's important to prevent 95. And the only way you win these games as white, when you've clearly blundered, is hoping that your opponent blunders for you. So I'm gonna go king. Let's go king b2. If knight a5, knight c4, we're getting into opposite color bishop endgames. And that should be not too bad. Let's try to go for... that's such an anti-positional move and I regret it right away. Because I don't even want to go f5. f5, as soon as I go f5, knight e5 is going to become a thing. So that was kind of misevaluated by me. Okay. The king on a3 is slightly more active. I'm trying to go for rook b2. Bishop b6. d4 doesn't work. We check. Things are close to working here, actually. Bishop f1, bishop f3. Let's go bishop f3. We have the bishop pair, and the bishop pair is starting to breathe. Okay. Fair enough. Let's take. So now we can go rook f2. 95, bishop e2. Very important move, by the way, because if not, knight c4, I'm losing. So the threat is... What is the threat? I mean, that's not threatening anything. Rook d4? Rook d4, knight c6 back. Well, I'm happy with the draw, I guess, so let's go rook d4. The competition, like, it's completely based on the dark squares. This move actually threatens something, by the way. We're doing decently at attacking our opponent's pieces. Yeah, that one I didn't see. Completely forgot about that one. So it's gonna get super sharp. King b2. Kind of have to go king b2, I guess. Knight c4 I have to give up. Oh, but now I have c4. Okay. Completely forgot about that. Ah! No. Style movements. Did I say that? Yeah, I am playing pretty poorly, guys. I'm sorry. If this continues, I'll stop. I'll just try to get one more. I mean, I didn't even get it once. I'll try to get a... I'll try to get one stone wall. There we go. So this time, I mean, you're saying that the chess bros played it, recommended it like with f4 knight f3, but I think I'm gonna go bishop g5. I like my bishop outside the pawn chain. So I'm gonna go bishop h4. Haven't studied this. Maybe it's worth studying. Planning to sacrifice the b2 pawn. Or am I? Having second thoughts now. Maybe this is why people don't play it with bishop g5. Okay, let's sacrifice it, I guess. Yeah, like this is kind of like what you should never do. But let's sacrifice. I'm already getting a slightly worse position. Okay, we can take and take on d4. Kind of bailing out already. Rook b1, queen c3. So let's take here. Hoping that my opponent gets tempted by king queen c3, which doesn't seem like... maybe it's fine, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try this. Funny enough, now I want my bishop back. Because it's a completely different story now. But okay, let's go king f2. Interesting position. I've sacrificed a pawn. And a little bit of my safety. But on the other hand, my opponent can't move this pawn so easily. I'm gonna play rook b1. Trying to go for rook b3. I guess my opponent's gonna go for g6. Or h6, g5. Just trying to figure out how I'm gonna finish development over here. Yeah, I was hoping that would happen. Why? He's got a bishop a6, but bishop a6, there's a beautiful line. Rook d8, I take. I go rook d1. And it's winning. Oh, wait a second, it's not winning. Oh, maybe it is winning. Okay, so they do go g5. Interesting. Let's go bishop takes g5. Okay. So bishop b7 is now different. Nothing's the same anymore. Let's go rook e1. Let's go rook f1 actually. And speed up exponentially. Actually, just speed up tons. Okay, that one I wasn't sure because I had still this queen takes d8 trick. Let's see if it works. It doesn't because I blunder bishop d5. Amazing work, David. Amazing. Let's see if we can resist here. Can we hold the draw? Sorry, Viking, I'll have to study this. I mean, I always criticize the stone wall. That's my excuse, but you know, I'm quite sure there's a way you can play this. And not blunder 1,000 pieces. Like I'm doing. King g3 was maybe trickier. I feel like I'm lagging as well. Yeah. Makes sense. Let's go bishop here. Not threatening anything clear. Well, I mean, other than this. Okay, that's a free bishop. Yeah, this is not clear anymore. Yeah, I'm too slow for this. Unfortunately. Wow, that was pretty bad. I think I'm gonna call it a day then here, Viking. I find it a killer opening in O2B tournaments when I don't know what to play. I always get a brilliant move with the bishop sacrifices. Yeah, I'll have to check that. Because I suck at it. Maybe this, like, whenever I've seen people do it with bishop g5, they're more careful. Because there's literally no... I'm gonna try to kill this fly, I'm sorry. Okay, there are two of them. There we go. Sorry about that. This is pretty controversial, actually. Some countries really don't like killing flies. Do I want to try a puzzle? Sure. Let's do that. So I was barely surviving the opening. Barely surviving the opening, and then I'm back to fine. Ah, the queen sacrifice is right. Actually, that's... never mind. Stockfish low depth agreed with my queen sacrifice, but then slowly it kind of changed its mind. Hey, Monaco! I remember. Thank you. Thank you very much. Doc Waffle, if you take a look at the Discord, you can send things over the Discord. Well, if the puzzle is like, depends on how. If the puzzle is insane, you know, I'll give up right away because I'm not in good shape. I'll try to open Discord in the meantime. Yeah, those last games were pathetic. I play against the stone wall. Just too weakening, no? Too weakening for me. I'll try my best next time. I mean, I tried my best, sorry. I'll try better next time. Sorry. So what was going on here? Oh, of course, rook b8 first. But now that I do not understand. Okay, now we're winning because of rook d1. So this is a draw. And the same thing with king c7 because we got rook b7. So bishop c8 is the only way. And then we got rook d1. I know, we got rook takes c8, of course. Yeah, I'm not seeing things anymore. It's unfortunate. Wow, this is beautiful. Wow. Thanks. Take a look. So it's black to play. Tying white's shoes. It's black to play, right? Yeah. G6. Can you guys see? Yeah. So the first thing I noticed is that if it was white to play, white does not have a check. Second thing I noticed, of course, these two super bishops. Tried making g6 work, but king h6 doesn't work. So I'm trying h6 now. Ah, I see. There's also another motive of going g6, forcing king h6, and then f6, king f7, bishop f8. But it's very slow. So maybe that's out of the question. That would have been a beautiful sacrifice. That would be making your request Viking justice. But no. Okay, candidate move is h6. That's my first candidate move. But then there's bishop d3 and there's also rook g1. Stopping g6. So what should we do? For example, if bishop d3, we go g6 regardless. We could also go f5 actually. But then rook g1. So h6, bishop d3, g6, takes. All of those are only moves. We go to rook g8, king takes h6. Or king h5, or king h7. I don't know, it feels wrong. And we're down tons of material, so it has to be mate. Is it forced mate, or am I allowed to know? Normally I don't ask these questions, so it's fine. Don't answer. Just that sometimes I'm confused. But I'm assuming puzzles is just black to play and win, you know. And I'm confused by these by the chapters. Okay. g6, king h6. Okay, h6. Ah, f5. f5 is an idea, of course. We saw the idea after g6 here. No, we saw the idea after h6. But we don't have to do that. We can go f5 right away and bishop f7. I'm just confused by why is this called tying made in 11? Tying white's shoes. Okay. Why is it called tying white's shoes? I don't know. I'll ask. I'll get the answer, I guess, when I figure it out. f5. f5 is probably the winning move then, because there's bishop f7. I get it. Is it like that? Is it like that well known? Oh, wait a second. I have to watch out for that. Queen d5. Whoa. So I have to watch out for that. I have to watch out for that. There are different ways white can do that. For example, there's bishop c4 and then knight d5. Ah, but then bishop e2. Yeah, do you know what this reminds me of? The one, arguably the most beautiful puzzle. The one that Mikhail Tal, like people, Soviet super grandmasters were trying to solve it back in the day. And Tal was like, oh, let me have a walk. And he went for a walk. And came back and said, yeah, this, and that, mate. And everyone clapped. Well, that's the story at least. But back to this, so we go f6, they go, let's say, queen d5 or bishop c4, I think. I mean, bishop c4, bishop takes c4, and queen d5, there's bishop e2. And that's gonna be mate, if not mate already, f3. I know there's f3, there's f3. But I feel like the f5 is the right first move. So we go f5, we're threatening bishop f7 mate. Let's start with queen d5. Queen d5, we go... Goodness gracious. Kaya, you're strong. Promoting a pawn to a queen, good lord. Then sacrifice it. Okay, that's very cryptic to me. Ah, I see. I see, I see. And I was like, wow, well, promoting your pawn? Good lord. You're a super genius. Yeah, promoting to a bishop, not a queen, a bishop. You promote it to a bishop. No, wait. Yeah, it's a bishop. And then you play around and like the bishop always avoids the knight. The engine takes a while understanding that one. But okay. So f5 I think is the first. I almost made that move, by the way, thinking this is an Alice's board. No, f5. Queen d5 is my first question. Queen d5 is my first question. How do we deal with this? I go bishop f7, queen takes d5, queen takes f7, king takes f7. Bishop c4 is a problem. Unless king f8 works? Nah, I don't think so. So f5, queen d5 is annoying. What about g6, king h6 in that position? So with inclusion of f5 and queen d5. g6, king h6. Okay. This is gonna be tough. This is gonna be tough. How do we do this? Okay, I'm gonna go back to h6. h6, bishop d3. h6, bishop d3. g6, bishop takes g6. F takes g6, king takes g6. Rook g8. King h7, we have bishop f5, king takes h6. And that's it, so like there's nothing. Rook g6, king h7 probably doesn't lose. And it does, rook f6. And then rook h6, so king h5. And then rook g5, no, bishop g4, no. Ugh. Wow, this is insane. f5, queen d5. I'm back to f5, queen d5. Back. Okay, so let's take the queen as a normal chess player. Knight 65, g6. King h6. It's gonna be a silent move. I can feel it. It's gonna be a silent move. How do we make this work? I'm gonna take a look at it on the other monitor. f5, knight d5. Sorry, f5, queen d5. F5, queen d5. G6, king h6. I have no idea so far. If some of you already solved it, you're probably shouting, screaming David. No, Viking! Did you find it? Is that the answer? H6? Bishop d3? Okay, h6. That's the first clue. Thanks. I'm assuming it's the first clue. H6, bishop d3. H6, bishop d3. G6. Bishop takes g6, f takes g6. There's nothing there. There's nothing. Maybe there is actually. It's not a clue if I'm always solving it with user. Okay, so it's okay. So that's your candidate move, I see. Yeah, I rejected h6 because I didn't see what to do after bishop d3. Ay. Okay, let's try f5 again. f5, queen d5. f5, queen d5. h6, bishop d3, but rook g1 is also unclear. Like, rook g1 is probably even better. Yeah, rook g1 is a good enough reason to reject it as well. Because g6 takes. Although you do have the... Actually, Viking, maybe you're right. Whoa! A ghost. I think you're right, actually, h6, because it kind of narrows it down. Viking, maybe like h6, rook g1, g6, because bishop d3 or rook g1, it's the same. Like, we're gonna go g6. White sacrifices on g6, we take. So king takes g6. We're looking at this, by the way. Sorry. And then we go rook g8, check, only move kind of to do something, and then white has 3 candidate moves. King h7, king takes h6, and king h5. The easier one to reject there is king h5 because there's bishop g4, king takes h6, bishop g5, king h7, and bishop f5. So it's only king takes h6 and king takes h7. I think this is right. Wow, I'm pretty pathetic today. I need quite a lot of help. So king takes h6. King takes h6, bishop g5, king h5. H6, bishop, well, it doesn't matter. Rook g1 or bishop d3. Like g6, takes, rook g8, king takes h6. King takes h6. We can go bishop f5. But that doesn't threaten anything, because queen takes e5, there's nothing. So we can go... There's something there, I can feel it. If there's nothing there, like I have complete no idea. It has to be h6. h6. Let's play bishop d3. Takes. Rook g8. King takes h6. By the way, king takes h7 is easy to reject, I think, as well. Because we get bishop f5. Actually, yeah. Bishop f5, king takes h6, rook h8 is mate. So, king takes h6 is the only move. And then what do we do? Oh, that's amazing. We go king f7. King f7 threatening rook h8, and if queen takes e5, we have bishop g... I don't know, what am I saying? What am I smoking? Oh no. We're close, we're very close. We're very close. It has to be that. Thank goodness. Thank goodness you suggested that, Viking. I don't know how long it would have taken. Well, actually, let's not get relaxed here. I haven't solved it here. There must be a mate there. Ay, ay, ay. It's just bishop g5, king h5, bishop f6. But that's not threatening it. That's not threatening anything. Okay, let's go back to bishop f5. Bishop f5 threatens rook h8. So bishop f5, what do they play? Queen takes e5. Okay, what about king f7 again? Let's try to make king f7 work again. King f7, queen takes e5. King f7, queen takes e5. Ah, there we go. Ah, it's always so close. Rook h8, king takes king g6 back. So, like your idea, I tried your idea, but rook g8, king takes h6, rook h8, king g6. I don't see anything. We can go rook g8, king h6. No, but there must be mate. Okay, Doc Waffle is saying that h6 bishop d3 is made it quicker than with rook g1. But why? h6 bishop d3 g6 takes rook g8. How would that make sense? That's insane. That just made it more difficult. I'm confused now. h6 bishop d3 g6 takes rook g8 king takes h6. I mean, it's h6 is the first move, right? So maybe, I mean, we can be here for forever. So I'm gonna try this move. Okay, good move. So the engine likes rook g1. Let's try g6. Because g6, there's nothing else. There's nothing else. Okay, what was that? Whoa. Okay, so takes. We can take. And here. So bishop f7 doesn't make sense because we allow the king to escape. So rook g8 makes sense. More sense. Okay, I lagged a little bit there. King takes h6. Hello, Satrang. Hello during the matches for my YouTube channel. Sorry, what? Okay, so we have this position, and this is what we were visualizing. And ideally, we wouldn't have gone for it. It's better to visualize everything from the very beginning. Oh my goodness, did I just... Okay, it's fine. Okay. So black to play and win. And we already made 1, 2, 3, 4 moves. It has to be made in 6. So essentially the puzzle starts here. This is an insane puzzle. I thought you said it wasn't difficult. Made in 11, goodness gracious. So king f7, queen takes e5 is the problem. Ah, I know. You know why bishop d3 gets mated quicker? Because there's gonna be at some point in this puzzle that white is gonna go bishop d3, bishop h7. Or bishop g6. Or just bishop d3 to cover the light squares. Very creative. Very creative. This is insane. I mean, it is tough. So rook h8, but what's the idea of rook h8? King g6. Bishop f7, is that the idea? King f5. So it can't be a rook h8. Okay, bishop f5 doesn't work because of queen takes e5. Bishop g5 runs into king h5, only move. We have bishop f6 in that position, threatening bishop g4. Bishop g5, king h5. Rook h8, king g6. Bishop f5, queen takes e5. There's nothing. So what is it? If it's something like rook g5, that's gonna be insane. This is a study. Bishop f7. Bishop f7, queen takes e5. So bishop f7, bishop f7. Queen takes e5, rook g6. Oh, bishop f7, queen takes e5, bishop g5, queen takes g5, rook h8. I was trying to make that work with king f7. But after king f7, queen takes e5, bishop g5, there's king h5. So I was trying to make that idea work. Wow, Viking, you found it again. So bishop f7. Queen takes e5, bishop g5, queen takes g5, rook h8. So bishop f7, bishop d3, I guess. Wow, we're getting somewhere here. Because we're threatening rook h8. What a genius. So bishop d3. But it's not over. But we're close. Wow. Bishop f7, bishop d3. Bishop g5. Bishop f7, bishop d3. Bishop g5, king h7. Bishop f7, king. Bishop f7, bishop d3. Bishop g5, king h7. We're close. So bishop f7 is right. Rook g5. Okay, Viking. You're either super GM. I know there's bishop. Bishop e2. Bishop f7, bishop d3, rook g5, bishop e2. And king g8. Okay, let's go bishop f7. Okay. So we have different kind of moves here. I agree. You agree, okay. This is too much. Bishop g5, king h7. Or rook g5. Rook g5 threatens rook h5. Yeah, rook g5 threatens rook h5, but then bishop e2. And then you go king g8, threaten bishop f8. Ah no, bishop f8 is not even a threat because king takes g5, so rook g6. And then if king h5, you go rook g8, followed by rook h8. And if king h7, rook g7. King h8, rook g8, king h7, And okay, I lost the thread there, but I'm rook g5, bishop e2. Rook g6, king h7 is forced because if king h5, there's rook g8, king h6, rook h8 mate. So rook g6, king h7, rook g5, bishop e2. Rook g5, bishop e2. Rook g6, king h7. Rook g7, king h8 forced because of king h6, bishop g5. So king h8. So our rook is on g7, our king is on, the king is on h8, and there's a bishop on e2. And then at the end of that, we got rook g8, king h7. Okay, rook g5, I'm not sure. Maybe it's rook g5, bishop e2, king g8 threatening rook g6. But if that's the answer, that's insane. But okay, whatever the answer is by now, it's going to be insane. So bishop g5 doesn't work because of king h7, I'm assuming. I feel like I would have found this 1,000 times quicker if I was thinking properly, but I have no idea. So clearly mate, because we have two bishops and a rook. But nothing works. But a rook g5 is an insane move. If that's the answer, well, credit to Viking. Rook g5, bishop e2. Rook g6. I know king g8 was our conclusion to play rook g6. Then, I don't know, 94, rook g6. King h5, rook g7. King h6, rook h7, mate. Okay. Wow. Oof. Okay, now king g8. Bishop e6, it couldn't have been because rook takes g6, right? So bishop e2, and now king g8, I guess. And there are many little things that white can do, I guess, to delay. But okay, king g8. I think it's king g8. I don't know, I'm toasted. Can't think properly anymore, I'm gonna go king g8. Queen d8, bishop takes d8, and we're still threatening rook g6, rook g7, rook h7. I can't think of anything else. Rook g6 now? But what about, what's wrong with king g8? Queen d5. Ah. And then rook g6, king h5. Well, let's remove this, good lord. Ah, no, I can't because it's a study, goodness gracious. Okay, rook g8, king g8, queen d5, rook g6, king h5. Now, but then I have... Okay, Viking... How do you know all of these? Rook g6, king h5. Now, of course, it's rook g6. Of course it's rook g6, because rook g6, king h5, it's the same rook g8, rook h8. And rook g6, king h7, there's rook g7. Although there is king h8 that I didn't see. Because if king h6, there's just bishop g5 mate. So king h8, rook g8, king h7. Okay, it's the right. No. Everything was right until then. We failed. We failed, Doc. I'm sorry. We failed. No, this is insane. Rook g7 is wrong. I guess rook d6 could be considered. Bishop g5. I don't know. Rook anywhere along this rank is going to be threatening bishop g8. So let's say rook f6. Followed by bishop g8 and rook h6. Is there any way? Ah, no, there's always queen d5. So rook e6. Hey! And that's it. They didn't even allow us to checkmate. It's okay. Bishop g8 and rook h6. Well, that's insane. The queen a5, bishop takes d8. And then yeah. Bishop g8 and rook h6. Wow, good lord. Sorry. There we go. There we go. There we go. Also works. Bishop mate fits the scheme. I see. You want this one. Okay, but why shoelaces? I don't understand. I think it was fine always. It worked out. Worked out. But why shoelaces? I don't understand, like, out of curiosity. Why is it shoelaces? Is all of this shoelaces? Like, the bishops look like shoelaces. Is that the explanation? This move is insane. Rook e6 is just insane. And if this... shoelaces. Okay. Interesting. Well, once again I fell into the trap of... okay, I see. Fair enough. Thanks for showing that. I fell into the trap of the puzzle. I couldn't solve it. Why does not rook g7 work? Excellent question. Rook g7, king h8. I assumed that there was something there. Let's analyze it actually. Rook g7 also works. So I wasn't wrong. So we could have had it right. It's okay. We're too arrogant. Sorry. But rook g7 was also right. It's just a different motive. But yeah, I would be lying if I told you that I had found bishop g6 beforehand. Like, I was still going to figure it out here. Bishop g8 also works. Ah, this is beautiful. Bishop d3, there's rook h7 on this. Where here? What was the winning move here? Yeah, rook g7 works as well. The bishop's cross made to like tying shoes, yeah. Well, that was insane. Thanks for showing that. Should I do a quick... Goodness gracious, never mind. I see. Simple made in 4. Well, after what I've seen, I'm not sure if I can even solve this one. I think I'm gonna call it a day. But this one I'm assuming is queen takes b. If I draw arrows, does it get drawn in yours? Because I don't want to ruin your study. Queen takes b2. Arrows don't stay, okay. Ah, this is a pretty cool... All of these are pretty tough to see. I get why you missed this. It's kind of weird. It's not nice. It's not clean, it's just a weird pattern. But it's good. C6 is also mate. Which one's better? You wrote this down here. C6 is also mate, but a corner pawn checkmate is rarer. I agree. Well, thank you very much, Artukaya. I think the quality definitely diminished towards the end, but I'll be analyzing those games. And Viking, I'll be checking some Stonewall games. I think I wouldn't be able to play it. I'm too disgusted by it until I start realizing it. Road to 3000. Well, pretty ambitious, but once I start analyzing those games, potentially. But yeah, no, thanks everyone, and thanks for those, all of that support, Viking, and everyone. I'll try to redistribute all of those, yeah, all of that support into chess and bringing back even better theory and better analysis. But it is pretty invaluable. So thank you. I will be streaming tomorrow at a similar time as today. Not sure if I'll be doing a 3.5 hours. Depends on what my play. If my play is abysmal, then probably not. But thanks everyone. I'll be uploading instructive content, and see you guys soon.